Hello, welcome to another mobility session with the 5-pillar method. Today we're focusing in on the knees and wrists. Let's start by finding a nice comfy spot on your mat, face up. Just find a nice relaxed headspace. Take some time to focus on your breath. Noticing the sensation of your breath. Noticing the pace of your breath. And taking your time to scan through your body and look for any spots that are carrying tension. And just letting go of any stress. Taking some time to just let things slow down. Mentally go into your happy place. And consciously finding calm. Finding that pace of your breath that helps you find calm. Directing that air deep into the lower abdomen. Breathing through the nose if you can, on the way in and on the way out. And we'll take one more long, slow breath in here. Take your time sighing out that breath. And we'll take our attention into the left forearm extensors. So the forearm extensors are on the back side of your hand, so the opposite of your palm side. So you'll go palm up on your lacrosse ball and just pan through that forearm and look for where you're carrying tension. If you spend a lot of time at a keyboard, these muscles can get tense. So just feel out how much tension we need here to help relieve that pressure, that tension in those muscles. Generally, a higher pressure on that lacrosse ball will give you deeper release. Just being sensitive to how that stimulus is affecting your body. And being sensitive to how much pressure we need today. And just listening to your body for clues. If we're going so intense with that pressure, you find your body tensing up. Just back off on that pressure until it feels right. You'll take one more long, slow inhale here, directing that air deep. Slowly sighing that breath out. And we'll switch to the opposite side. So panning through that right forearm, again palm up, looking for tension through those extensor muscles. There's a lot of tiny different muscles here, and any one of them can carry tension and need your attention today. So do some searching, looking for where you're carrying the most tension there. And once you've found that good target spot, find the right amount of pressure to apply at the right angle. And once you've settled into that stimulus, focus back on your breath, doing your best to keep your breath synced to your target tissue. So as you let go of air, imagine that forearm softening and just forming around your lacrosse ball. And doing your best to mentally stay calm and relaxed and living in your happy place. We'll take one more breath here. Take your time sighing out that breath. And we'll move back to your left side into a little bit of traction. And when we traction this side, we just want to give a gentle pull anytime we traction a joint. The goal is just to give a subtle separation in that joint in case that's been over compressed. Those surfaces are just jammed to one another. So this is about reversing that pressure to free up the surfaces of the joint to move better. And if we get any pain or any real discomfort, we're going a little too aggressive with that traction force. So just gently giving a tug of your hand away from your arm, being sensitive to how much tension and pressure we need. And if you're new to this, err on the side of going nice and easy and progressively getting a little more aggressive as we go. And we'll switch sides. Focusing our attention on that right wrist. Just grabbing a hold of your hand and giving a gentle tug along the axis of your forearm. And again, all we're looking for is a subtle pressure release in the joint itself. You won't feel much here at all. All we're trying to do is unjam the joint and let those surfaces glide a little better. Doing your best to stay nice and calm mentally, relaxing those muscles in the hands or forearms as we're doing this. And just be sensitive to how the body's responding. So let's take one more breath here. And as you sigh out that breath, we'll move into a wrist extension stretch. So we'll go palms on the ground, fingertips towards your knees from tabletop. And just gently leaning back towards your heels to feel a stretch through those wrist muscles and forearms. And just being delicate here. If your wrists are stubborn, overworked, they might not like a deep stretch position. We can back way off on here if there's any pain or discomfort. Find a level of stretch that feels right for you today, and you will know that better than anybody. So try not to reproduce what you're seeing in the video if your body's not ready for it. Pay attention to how your body's responding. Let's take one more breath here. Slowly let go of that breath and move into some wrist circles. So there's a few ways to do this. Ideally, we want to isolate the wrist itself. So you can just lean your arms on your knees and move them in through circles. You can let your forearms float. But generally just taking nice wrist circles, first couple reps going nice and easy through that range of motion. And as we work our way through the minute, being a tiny bit more aggressive, working our way into those corners, trying to find new range of motion and stability at the outer limits of those wrists. And generally, the harder we work here, the better benefit we get, especially as we work our way through. So in these last 10 seconds, let's ramp up that tension a tiny bit as the body allows. We'll take a breath out and we'll shift our attention into the quad. We're going to go into the lower quad today on the left side. So that might be the teardrop muscle, the vastus medialis. It might be the outside of the knee, that vastus lateralis. Just panning through the lower part of that quad, looking for what needs attention today. Looking for how much pressure it needs today and the right angle of applying that pressure. And then settle back to your breath. We can get into a level of discomfort where we want to avoid pain. So just paying attention to how your body's responding. It can be helpful to get some movement through the knee to free up that tissue. So if we just pull that heel up to your butt and get some motion, that can help the knee free itself up for better movement. So feel this out. This is choose your own adventure. Feel out what the body needs and be sensitive to that. We'll take one more breath here. We'll let go of that breath and switch to the right side. So let's pan through those muscles just above that right knee. We can go fully medial, we can go lateral, we can go somewhere in the middle, just in line with the patella. Again, everyone will be a little different here, so just pay attention to what your body needs. The exact location, the exact angle of pressure, and then how much pressure we're applying. If you feel it needs a little extra tension, you can leverage yourself into that. Just start lifting parts of your body off of the mat, so more of their body's leaning on top of that lacrosse ball. Just paying attention to how much pressure your body's okay with today. And every chance we get, circling back to your breathing. Focus on directing that air deep into the lower abdomen and breathing through the nose every chance we get. Let's take one more breath here. Slowly sigh out that breath. And we'll move into a down dog position, downward dog. So this is with the hips up in the air. Your head's going to be in between your ears. And with our focus on the knees, we're going to focus on the lower body. There's a lot of different directions we can take down dog. I want you guys to focus on that terminal knee position, stretching out those hamstrings and those muscles in behind the knee. And we'll also get a tiny bonus wrist stretch. So just be sensitive to those areas in particular, or if anything else isn't feeling right, just shuffle your position till we're in a pain-free spot and we're feeling that stretch in behind the knee, tiny bit in the wrist, and we are fairly active in this position, just mentally staying passive. Let's take one more breath here. We'll sigh out that breath and we'll move into a single leg saddle. So in a seated position, pulling that heel towards your butt, being sensitive to how that knee responds here. For some of us, that terminal knee flexion can be uncomfortable. So just take that knee into as deep a stretch as we can handle, and then gently lean your torso back to whatever your body can handle. If you've got good movement through those knees and hips, you can actually lean all the way back into that stretch. Just taking it 1 degree at a time and feeling out how the body's responding as you get deeper into that stretch. Again, we want to be sensitive to that and find out the right position for you. And let's start by gently getting active, gently pressing that foot into the floor, grabbing onto your ankle if you needed to for support, resisting that stretch, slowly ramping up tension as we go. And big tension here to finish up. 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse that, getting active through the hamstring. Imagine pulling your heel closer to your butt, getting as aggressive as pain will allow you to. We do not want to get into pain. Ramping up that tension as we go. And big breath out, relax. Let's fall back into that passive position. You may find you're in a deeper stretch at this point, and if not, that's okay. We'll just keep being patient, and we'll get there. Focusing back on your breath, staying nice and passive, turning off any muscle we don't need. Let's take one more breath here. Let's let go of that breath and we'll switch sides. So pulling that right heel in towards the butt to whatever level is pain-free. And just gently leaning towards your mat. If you've got some mobile knees and hips, again, feel free to lean back as far as pain allows. Your body will always be a better feedback than what we say is quote-unquote ideal. There really is no ideal. And your body will tell you if we're on the right track. So for all of these poses, just pay attention to how that body's responding. Find the right position, the right amount of stretch in through those quads and hip flexors. In a few seconds, we'll gently get active. Let's go ahead, starting pressing into the floor or holding onto your wrist and pressing against your arm. Just gently resisting that stretch, slowly ramping up tension as we go. And big tension here to finish up. 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse. Actively pulling your heel closer to your butt. And slowly ramping up tension as we go. Big tension here to finish up. 3, 2, 1. Big breath out. Relax. Get nice and passive. Letting go of any tension. Quick body scan, turning off any muscle we don't need. Might be your hands, might be your face, your head and neck. Use your breath to calm those tissues. Let's take one more breath here. Slowly let go of that breath. And we'll move into a child's pose. So for child's pose, we've got a few tissues we can focus on. Today's focus is on the knees. So we're going to sit as deep into the heels in child's pose as possible. And if this is uncomfortable or painful, just get to whatever level or version of the stretch is okay for your joints. We don't jump into pain. That's a hard rule. Work with our pain-free range of motion. And then work to slowly extend that range of motion at whatever pace the body can handle. So just relaxing through those knees in your child's pose position, that bowing position, keeping your attention on your lower half, letting your knees slowly seep into a deeper stretch. Let's take one more breath here. Take your time letting go of that breath. And that is a wrap for today, guys. Hope those knees and wrists are feeling great. Hope you're in a good headspace. Hope you have a great rest of the day. If you enjoyed today's video, remember to subscribe and like. And we'll see you again tomorrow.